It's that motherfucking underground stream, bitch. It's that motherfucking underground stream, bitch. It's that 3DMG, y'all. It's that 3DMG, the underground stream. I welcome you to the real underground stream. It's happening right now. We're going to get that face cam up real soon. You're going to be able to see that pretty face real soon. In the meantime, we're going to watch a little documentary about something that we all know and love called the transistor. Now, please enjoy.
This picture is about the transistor. There are 3 transistors here in this collection of small electronic parts. The original point contact type, the junction type, and the phototransistor. And here is a more complex type of transistor. This is called the junction tetrode. These tiny transistors are destined to play a big part in our electronic age. They will make possible smaller, more compact electronic devices that will need less maintenance and have a longer life. But to grasp fully the importance of these new members of the electronic family, let's recall the wonders made possible by the high vacuum tube, the common radio tube. The roots of the electronic age reach back into the early years of our century. In 1907, Dr. Lee DeForest discovered that a grid of fine wire placed between a filament and a metal plate in a vacuum tube could control the flow of electrons between the filament and plate, and the tube could be made to amplify as well as detect electrical waves. He called this amplifying tube an audion. Weak signals applied to the input or grid of the audion caused similar and much stronger signals to flow from the plate or output. A few years later, 2 scientists, Dr. Arnold of Bell Telephone Laboratories and Dr. Langmuir of General Electric, working independently, found that by pumping out the audion tube to create a very high vacuum, they obtained greater fidelity and stability. Here is one of the first high vacuum tubes that started us on the way to the wonders of our electronic age. By 1915, telephone research physicists and engineers had succeeded in developing methods of manufacturing the vacuum tube with sufficiently uniform characteristics so that hundreds of them were installed as amplifiers, thus making possible the first telephone line between New York and San Francisco. And 3,000-mile transcontinental telephone calls became a reality. This same year, 1915, at Arlington, Virginia, telephone engineers hooked together 500 vacuum tubes to generate enough radio power to send the human voice across the Atlantic for the first time in history. Words spoken into a radio telephone transmitter at Arlington were heard by engineers listening at the Eiffel Tower in Paris and also at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. 1920 brought the beginning of radio broadcasting, but a vacuum tube radio receiver was a real luxury. Then, the next 10 years gave us talking motion pictures, transoceanic radio telephone service,
Yikes.
television demonstrations, and ship-to-shore telephony. With our electronic age in full swing, the coaxial cable, the cathode ray tube, the iconoscope, and the image orthicon,
Big props, the coaxial cable,
created by
y'all.
more
Big
conventional
props.
vacuum tubes, gave us television, radar for war, radar for peace, and then microwave radio relay to speed hundreds of telephone calls as well as television programs from coast to coast. The heart of all these electronic systems has been the vacuum tube. But the Bell Telephone Laboratories have added an entirely new and different heart to modern communication systems, the transistor, operating on a new and different principle arising from basic research
It's a pretty
on
big
solid
deal.
substances and how the
kinda is.
electrons inside them behave. How did it all come about? Well, doctors Shockley, Bardeen, and Bratton, and their associates at the Bell Telephone Laboratories were working on a problem in pure research, investigating the surface properties of germanium, a substance known to be a semiconductor of electricity. Their study suggested a
How
way to
germane?
amplify an electric current within a solid, without a vacuum or a heating element. And after months of calculations, experiments, tests, the transistor was born. The transistor, a new name, a new device that can do many of the jobs done by the vacuum tube and many the tube can't do. Let's see how the transistor and tube measure up. First off, the vacuum tube is power hungry. While a tube like this generally demands a watt or more of electricity,
This is amazing
a
right
millionth
here.
of a watt
This is
enough for
simply
the
amazing.
transistor. Even a makeshift battery of moist blotting paper wrapped around a coin.
I talked
can
over it.
power
Hold
a
on.
Transistor.
This part is simply amazing right here.
First off, the vacuum tube is power hungry. While a tube like this generally demands a watt or more of electricity, a millionth of a watt is enough for the transistor.
1
Even a makeshift battery
millionth.
of moist blotting paper wrapped
Okay, think
around a
about
coin
that.
can
1
power a
millionth.
transistor.
From going to like powering a super hot light bulb to 1 millionth of that. That's human ingenuity right there. That's amazing. That's simply amazing.
The vacuum tube gets pretty hot, sometimes a little too hot. That's why in complex devices, the tubes must be spaced far enough apart for proper ventilation. Since transistors remain cool, they can be crowded together in a small space.
Fucking love these acrylic
In size,
examples.
reliability, and ruggedness too, the tiny transistor
So
has
cool.
many advantages. And research goes on to make it still more useful. Many new and improved types of transistors have followed the early models. But transistors
Dude,
are no
female
longer just
scientist,
an
yo.
experiment.
Right up front.
Here, they are being produced at the Allentown, Pennsylvania plant of Western Electric, the manufacturing and supply unit.
Want
the
one of
Bell
those
system.
boxes?
Different types for different purposes. The Bell Telephone people have lots of jobs lined up for them.
This
jobs
is funny.
based on the transistor's ability to amplify speech sounds in this way. This is how my voice would sound over a 75-mile telephone line that has no amplifying device. Now, with a transistor amplifier in the line, my voice is amplified so that you can hear me distinctly. This, for example, will
Quite
mean that in
distinctly.
isolated farmhouses, far from central exchanges, the transistor, right in the telephone, will make it easier for the farmer to hear and be heard on his rural telephone.
Am I really
And
talking to you
transistors can
across the
replace many of the
world?
vacuum tubes used in providing long-distance telephone service. Because they are so tiny, transistors have made it possible to miniaturize many types of electronic
Look at these
equipment.
acrylics.
This equipment requires less space and will cost less to maintain. Transistors may also be used in multi-channel telephony, which increases the number of calls that can be carried at the same time along telephone lines. When you dial direct from your town to a distant city, transistors in this route selector may be helping to mark out the pathway along which your call will go. Transistors may someday go under the sea, built right into underwater telephone cables. But transistors go well with lots of other industries, too. Many manufacturers have been licensed to produce transistors and devise new applications. Through their efforts, you may be able to get music with a flick of your wrist from the so-called Dick Tracy radio.
Blowing
And
fucking
with a portable
minds.
television
Look at that
set,
thing.
You may be able to enjoy
Portable.
video entertainment anywhere you go.
Portable.
For the military, the transistor opens up fantastic possibilities, most of them in too early a stage of development to be talked about. Transistors
Hush,
will
hush.
take their place in the complex calculating machines that have often been called electronic brains because they enable man to save days, months, even years in solving mathematical problems. Of course, we cannot build a calculating machine as flexible as the human brain. But even a man-made computer designed to do hundreds of brain-like calculating jobs might need an Empire State Building to house it and a Niagara Falls to power and cool it if vacuum tubes were used in its construction. Substituting transistors for tubes, such a versatile machine could fit into a good-sized room, and power and cooling needs would be relatively low. With the transistor, man has gone far toward matching some of the capacity of the human brain. He has done it with imagination, with the inventiveness and teamwork of the Bell Telephone scientists who are looking forward to the age just beyond the age of electronics.
Amazing. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Very cool. You know, I completely shit on AT&T, on everything that they fucking stand for and what they are up to. But, out of respect, I do want to thank this evil, oligarchic, billions of dollars every fucking year probably going to lobbying corporation for posting this wonderful video about transistors on Reddit, and that's where I stole it. Anyway, once again, thank you to the Monster Goblin Corporation that wouldn't spit on you if you were on fucking fire, doesn't pay its taxes, piece of shit company, AT&T. I would like to thank you. Like to get my fuck offs real quick. I'd like to say fuck you, Kanye West. I'd like to say fuck you to Geico, the insurance company. I personally hate fucking Geico, and Geico can suck my fucking dick. I gotta put on some headphones. Ugh, if I want to hear this properly. Still talk to you, but no, we're gonna get to the game. So, let's get to the fucking main event, dude. Oh, you might be asking, oh, why fuck you, Kanye West? Well, this is why. Alright, this is why. Because dude is mad talented. Okay? This is his first fucking mixtape. Alright? Dude is mad talented. and he's squandering it all by being, by having some kind of messiah complex, He's not that's the thing, though, is that the only thing he's, good at is music. And I need to read more sources. I need some objective fucking hard proof that this guy's a so-called genius. Okay? That this guy over here is a genius. Has he truly innovated on anything? I don't know. I need to see some documentation for this claim of genius. Okay? Because I believe he's really, really, really good at music. And that's it. But maybe I'm wrong. What's going on in the tweeters? Well, no one gives a fork. Alright, so we're going to get to the main event. Oh my god, it's super fucking loud for you. Holy nutsack. I am sorry. Wow. What a way to start the stream. I don't have headphones on, but I saw it in the volume meter that it was a little unpleasant for you. So that is my bad. Feel free to hit that unfollow button. Put me out of my fucking misery, please. Please end my suffering and abandon the shambles of my channel. It's not even, it's so small, it's not even really shambles. You know what I mean? I don't get shambles. Shambles, shit. I would be lucky to get shambles. Some of these streamers, like Shane Dawson. I guess not Shane Dawson, because he's kept himself a little bit more relevant than some of them. Oh shit! Popped right out of you, didn't you? It's my mic being a bitch. Go fig. Who am I thinking of? Fred. That motherfucker named Fred. Yeah, that shit is hella blurry, dog. What is the deal? What is the ding dong dilly? You know what I mean? What's the ding dong dilly over here? Hey, way down yon run, dude. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I can see it. It just looks like shiz. It looks like poopy doo doo. Whoopity scoop, scoop scoopity whoop. Now, if he's a genius, right? Because whoopity scoop, actually, from a Dadaist perspective, could be considered kind of genius. Because here's this artist at the peak of at the prime, right? And here's this guy at the peak, on top. Sorry, it's adjusting volume. Here's this guy at the top who's basically, everyone's expecting genius out of him, right? It'd be as if Bowie, during the height of his Ziggy Stardust phase, decided to join a boy band, and do the most mediocre music you've ever heard. In a way to kind of say, that, just to kind of destroy the art, like Kurt Cobain, instead of killing himself, decides to do fucking ska music. He joins Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. He forms Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. Some kind of nightmare scenario like that. You know, in an effort to basically destroy art, which is, you know, would be kind of a Dada-esque kind of POV, which would be kind of interesting, wouldn't it? I don't know. Let's see what 720 looks like. You know, but I don't see Oh Boy out here making some kind of like you know, I don't see him out here making some kind of like, this is, you know, this is a well thought out artistic kind of you know what I mean? It just feels like contrary. It just feels like someone being who's being contrary. Who's just trying to do the opposite, you know, and claim that's genius. I don't know. Clearly, I don't. You know, I just would like to see, personally, I would like to see some motherfucking proof that Oh Boy's a genius. I'm perfectly fine saying the man is extremely talented at making amazing music, as I demonstrated earlier with his mixtape. You know, his first mixtape when he was making beats, I think in his grandmother's house, if I remember anything from his story correctly. I know, I'm trying to get this figured out, folks. It's so weird. You know, the old El Shido. I mean, it is what it is, man, but it's kind of shit, honestly. It's once you get it working, that's fine, but it really is like the software is just like jank city. It really feels janky. You know, here I am trying to like turn it off and turn it back on, and I'm getting nothing. Getting Nathan. You know what I mean? It's got some kind of weird fucking connection for here, we got to show you something. Ooh, wow. Oh, this Transistor full documentary. Alright, we'll watch that while I figure this out. Holy shit. Another AT&T. Fuck you, AT&T. I mean, for real. You guys suck. AT&T sucks. I'll take that shit to the grave, son. They suck dick. Fuck you, AT&T. I am not even joking. One of the worst telecom companies to exist.
We call it a transistor.
But
Hi, I'm Ira Plato.
thank you for posting this wonderful video on your channel. Please rail my hog until it's raw. AT and fucking T.
And top secret research.
Anyway,
stick around.
please enjoy while I figure this shit out. You may see stuff cut in and out. Alright, I'm gonna have to fucking... We're getting drastic here, folks.
Funding for Transistorized is provided by the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation to enhance our understanding of the world around us and of the increasing role of science and technology in everyday life.
Big props to Alfred P. Sloan Foundation. Alfred P. Sloan Foundation, big props. Until I do some research on you and figure something weird out about you, then I'll have to, like, you know, take that back. But anyway, until then, big props. Okay. There we go. Oh, I'm gonna get fucking copywritten for that shit.
What we have for you today represents a fine example of teamwork, of brilliant individual contributions, and of the value of basic research in an industrial framework. This cylindrical
Completely shit
object
the bed.
that I'm holding up is a device that can amplify electrical signals as they are transferred through it. It is composed entirely cold, solid substances. We call it a transistor.
It's June 30th, 1948. Ralph Bound of Bell Labs has announced their latest, greatest, top-secret invention to the press. It's designed to replace the venerable vacuum tube. And even though he's out there extolling the virtues of his newest device, he hasn't got a clue of the revolution the transistor will trigger. In fact, no one does. No one could have predicted the sweeping changes such a small object would create.
Shit is insane how much the transistor changed the world.
No one foresaw how the transistor would take us to other worlds and shrink our own. Bell Labs credited those three men, Walter Brattain, John Bardeen, and William Shockley, with the invention of the transistor. You heard Bound call them a fine example of teamwork. But what Bound didn't say, but which he knew, was that clashing egos and bitter rivalries had already made it impossible for the three of them to ever work together again. They were three men of extraordinary talent and very different personalities. Walter Brattain, the oldest, was an experimental physicist who could build and fix just about anything.
Walter was sort of a marvelous character. You'd almost say a homespun character in the sense that his voice was sort of a raspy voice, and he was very plain spoken.
John Bardeen was a theoretical physicist, one of the 20th century's greatest.
John was a very mild-mannered man. Never raised his voice. Just remember him as being flat. He controls his emotions.
Bill Shockley, the team leader, was the youngest. A brilliant theoretician, he saw the transistor's potential when almost no one else did. His driving ambition would make him a hero and lead to his downfall.
What?
He lived a life of competition.
Downfall?
That everything he did breathed and acted competition. It came out of every pore of his being.
For a brief period after World War II, the lives of these three would be interwoven, bringing out the best each had to offer, only to unravel under the crushing weight of unbridled ambition. Their story has all the makings of a classic Greek tragedy. When our story begins in 1945, Bell Labs had just moved from its cramped headquarters in Manhattan, about 20 miles north of here, to these state-of-the-art laboratories in the rolling hills of New Jersey. Bell Laboratories was the research arm of the giant telephone company American Telephone and Telegraph, AT&T. By the mid-1940s, AT&T held the monopoly on long-distance telephone calls. And it reinvested its wealth wisely, hiring the country's top scientists and engineers and giving them the very best facilities. AT&T executives understood that basic research gave them a competitive edge.
Yeah, that stopped once they secured a monopoly.
Of big dreams and even bigger egos sometimes. It had already produced one Nobel Prize winner. It was spitting out patents at the rate of 2 per day. And it all began with a boast made 36 years before. In 1907, AT&T was in a financial crisis. Alexander Graham Bell's patents for the telephone had expired, and thousands of small, independent phone companies were nipping at its heels, stealing customers. To recover from its financial tailspin, AT&T called on its former and now retired president, Theodore Vail. Vail quickly announced that AT&T would offer customers what no other phone company could, coast-to-coast telephone service. There was only one problem.
Can you recall the telephone of a generation ago? New York to Denver was the longest call that could be made, and it was uncertain.
Uncertain because the phone company needed to find some way to boost the signal the rest of the way across the country. The monkeys are throwing electrons. The shutter in between represents our little wire.
It electrically blocks the flow of electrons or lets them through, depending on its charge, like an
We
on-off
back,
switch.
bitch.
Simple, isn't it?
That squiggly wire called the grid also allowed the tube to be made into an amplifier. Let me show you how that worked. When a weak signal, let's say a telephone call, Watson, come here, I want you, is fed into the grid of the vacuum tube, it modifies the electricity flowing into the tube. It creates an identical but stronger signal coming out. The tube becomes an amplifier. Watson, come here, I want you.
Then the vacuum tube went into service, and the transcontinental telephone became a reality.
And just as Theodore Vail had promised, on January 23, 1915, the father of the telephone demonstrated AT&T's new coast-to-coast service.
Alexander Graham Bell repeated the first words ever transmitted by telephone. Mr. Watson, come here, I want you. But this time, the inventor's assistant laughed. I can't make it under a week, Dr. Bell. I'm in San Francisco.
The tube solved the long-distance problem, and telephone lines spread like spider webs across the country. By the mid-1920s, the vacuum tube had come into its own. Vacuum tubes were everywhere. Thousands and thousands of them were powering radios and telephone networks and used in amplifiers all over the world. The problem was, though, that vacuum tubes were big and bulky. They gave off a lot of heat. They used up a lot of power. And, like their cousins, the light bulb, they had a nasty habit of burning out. AT&T knew that if it were to meet the demand for increased phone service, it would have to come up with something better than the vacuum tube. And if Bell Labs could produce such a product, AT&T stood to make a fortune. In the 1930s, Bell Labs director of research, Mervyn Kelly, understood quite clearly the problems with vacuum tubes.
It was Kelly, after all, who recognized that if the telephone business was going to rely on relays and on vacuum tubes, then before long its future progress would be limited by the limitations of those two devices.
Kelly thought the answer lay in a strange class of materials called semiconductors, such as silicon and germanium, which could both conduct and resist the flow of electricity depending on the conditions. Perhaps they could be coaxed into doing everything vacuum tubes did, only better. But World War II put Kelly's plans for a new semiconductor device on hold as the nation's laboratories turned their talents to winning the war. One of the most important technical developments of the war was radar. Radar helped the Allies see through fog and darkness, track enemy planes and ships, and shoot down buzz bombs destined for London. And radar would play a key role in the invention of the transistor.
To detect radar, you needed an element that required semiconductors. It was called a crystal rectifier, and it used a tiny chip of silicon inside to convert the radar signal into something that you could see on a scope.
Radar was made possible through research into silicon and germanium, work that would later be essential to the invention of the transistor. At the war's end, the minds and material that once fought Hitler and Hirohito would be mobilized again, this time to make consumer products for the returning GIs and their growing families.
Well, we that were in the service were very glad to be home. There was a great expansion going on. The depression was gone, the war was over, and everything was just an up curve. Everything kept going.
Everyone wanted a piece of the good life. For Ma Bell, business was so good, the company found it hard to keep up. AT&T was swamped with increasing demand for phone service. If the trend continued, quipped one company executive, half the women in the U.S. would have to become switchboard operators. Mervyn Kelly realized that long-distance calls could be routed automatically if a reliable electronic switch could be found. First, he needed to assemble a team of scientists smart enough to make it happen, and fast. Kelly knew that other high-tech laboratories were experimenting with semiconductors too, and he did not want to risk losing a patent. Kelly tapped one of his top young physicists, Bill Shockley, to lead the team. Shockley was born in California.
Whoa, there we go.
The only son of a mining engineer.
Well, I did tell it to stretch.
He loved rock climbing, practical jokes, and British sports cars. And he was deadly serious about his physics.
Shockley had phenomenal physical intuition. He really had just a feeling for the way the physics worked in these devices. I had a colleague that said he thought Shockley could see electrons, that his physical intuition was so good.
Shockley was a brilliant theorist, but lousy at building experiments. He knew he needed someone who worked well with his hands, just like Bell needed Watson. He found Walter Brattain, a seasoned experimental physicist already working at Bell Labs. Raised on a farm in Washington State, the self-reliant Brattain was the epitome of American ingenuity.
Walter was a very good experimental physicist. He could put things together out of sealing wax and paper clips, if you wish.
Shockley then hired John Bardeen, a brilliant theoretical physicist trained at Princeton University. An expert on the movement of electrons within solid materials, he understood the subtleties of semiconductors. Bardeen was the precocious second son of a medical school dean from Wisconsin. He skipped 3 grades and entered college at the age of 15. They called him Whispering John.
Whispering
He
John!
was really a quiet, contemplative, very deep kind of person, where Shockley was quick.
Whoa.
And that was initially very complimentary.
He would complement Shockley's own expertise, and more importantly, with capable John Bardeen in the laboratory, Shockley would be free to work on his own. With those key players in place, Shockley filled out his team with an eclectic mix.
Okay. Let's try to actually play some video games, huh? What is it, 10 o'clock? Round the clock. Electric shock. Alright. Oh. Damn. Dang. 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 Damn. Okay. Let's go. Let's go already. Ziggy's like, shut the fuck up, bitch. Wow, why is that full volume? Okay. Unmute. Yeah. Whoa. Come on, mouse. Okay. Alright, we'll just do normal. Trying to be entertaining, make some progress in this game. Not be Captain Hardcore Speedrun on the first try. Prologue, 1 year before this fight against the Lords of Chateau. Whoa. A child is born. We will name him Castlevania Boy. I'm already preggers. That's how hard he hit it. I'm straight up already preggers. He hit it that hard. What do we got? This guy's looking more BA than as BA as it gets. Oh, I thought those were zombies for a second. Get out of my way, bitch. Look at me, I'm so badass. I'm wearing 50 pounds of fucking blankets. Alright, we doing it, boys? Alright. I'm gonna go back. I'm taking a nap. You guys take care of this shit. Hey! Looking at me, bitch? Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, see you later, bitch. Alright, alright. Bye. Alright, let's go. Hey, why the hell are you guys behind me? There's 3 of you. Let's go. Get in front of me. I'm not liking this. Oh no, this is actually a totally epic intro. Whoa. I'm spooked. Boom, bitch. I don't carry this shit around for fucking looks. Slap them with that cross whip. Direct attacks, triangle for area attacks, X to jump. Combine these actions together to unleash deadly moves. See, that's why I had to fuck with everything, so I can get this looking good. Keep this looking good and tasty. Oh, our buddies died. Oh, there goes another one. Oh, nice. Okay. One of you left. Can you make it? Probably not. Hey, man, you better save at this fucking, campfire. Isn't that how it works? Sire, you've been playing too many games. Yeah, you're probably right. L2 to block. Whoa! That wasn't a block, it was a dodge, bitch. Woo! Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm using the D-pad. Yeah, eat my chain whip, bitch. Whoop! Whoop! Oh! Oh, nice of you to join. Oh, one hit. Wow. I wonder if there's any way to, like, if there's any way you can help them survive, you know, by dispatching them quickly. And oh shit, should have blocked. I remember to do that. Boom, boom. Enemy attack. What, bitch? What? R2 to grab, huh? Oh, nice. Oh, just stabbed it right in there. Nice. Oh, fuck. Okay, that's cool. I bet players whose first inclination to jump love that. Holy shit. Alright. Oh, dude, did that go like through your torso?
Is this the best the pathetic Brotherhood of Light can say?
Oh! Holy shit, dude, this guy's hardcore. He let himself get impaled. Is that what I'm seeing here? Holy shit. guy's nuts. This guy's officially fucking nuts. Meanwhile, insert Seinfeld noise here. Dude, she already had the baby. He hit it that hard.
You have seen it, Marie. The mirror has shown you Gabriel's fate. You must protect the child from his father. Trevor and his lineage will be the only ones capable of facing him in the future. Your son's survival is the only hope for humanity.
Holy shit.
We will come for him at nightfall.
That is some pressure, man. Oh, man, she's gonna lose her kid too to that. Because he's so important. Whoop. Close up. Get your ghost up. I don't know, it rhymed. I don't know, Doug. And so it was that Trevor Belmont, son of Gabriel and Marie Belmont, was taken from his mother's arms as a baby and raised in secret by the Brotherhood of Light. A secret Marie would take her to a secret Marie would take to her grave. Gabriel would never knowing that he had a son by her. Although Gabriel later defeated the dread lords of shadow, Gabriel fell into darkness as foretold, becoming Dracula. Now atop his colossal mountain fortress, he delivers his war upon the Brotherhood of mankind. Trevor grew to manhood, oblivious to his true lineage, and had a son of his own, Simon Belmont. Our tale begins here many years later, for it is through the son of Trevor Belmont that these deeds and courage of the father can be revealed and the tragic fate of the Belmont can come true. So everyone's a Belmont? Is that what's going on here? Like literally Dracula's a Belmont, everyone's a Belmont. This whole thing is Belmonts. So it's a whole family thing.
Run, Simon, don't stop. Keep going to the forest, don't look back. Run, run.
Man, it's rough. It's rough. Now, I believe Simon is the person who was in the first Castlevania game. That was the first Castlevania. Am I wrong about that? Hit me up. 1-800-MIX-A-LOT. You can kick those nasty thoughts. Cursed village. Right after an attack, the enemy needs to blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, Becky. Woo! Alright, let's fucking go, boy. I am pissed. I lost my mom in a fucking terrible way. Now I'm ready to kill. Woo! I like this whip, man. Ooh, digging the music too. Turn it up a bit for you. There we go. Oh, zombies. There we go. Zombie count. Bing. Look, I'm just like Civi 11. I'm really good at this. You just earned some experience. Increase your experience level and unlock new skills by killing enemies. Okay. I thought this was an anime novella. I had no idea this was a side-scrolling platform. No, I thought it was, you know, because the other Lords of Shadow games are 3D third-person, Castlevanias. I thought this was a PS2 3D third-person Castlevania. I was deadly mistaken. Hold L3. What is that going to do? Okay. What's this? New? What's new? Curse Village. What? What's new? Navigate. What's... Oh, wait a minute. Inventory. The whip. Simon's whip is made from various animal skins interlocking, forming a tightly woven pattern. It is often used by the tribesmen of Wachilla or Wachia. Wallachia. The leather is then reinforced with The leather is then reinforced with fragments of metal, which maintains its flexibility, yet is so strong enough to rip through armor, wood, and flesh with ease. Ooh, I got a good idea. Red beans and rice did miss her. Look at what I got. Whoop, whoop. Turn that up, and we're going to turn the other light out. We'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see. Alright, I need to turn up the sensitivity or down? Yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. Ooh. I could just add this technology to the mask. Kind of get the best of both worlds, right? What does that look like? I don't know. It doesn't really look too good. Really like the soundtrack. I think it's totally sweet. Buttigieg. Woo! Don't you know I'm Buttigieg? Hello. Welcome back. Did a little costume change. What do you think? Hello. How are you? Hope you're well. I'm doing quite well. Let's see here if we can get... No. Prefer it like this. Maybe I can do this though. Let's see here. Yeah. There you go. Alright. Simon lost both of his parents when he was young. His father went to Dracula's castle and never returned. Gee, wonder what that's going to turn into. Could it be that our boy's father is actual real life father? Is Dracula? Dun dun dun. Let's see how this looks close up. Boom. Close up, bitch. Don't like it? Don't like my crazy costume? Welcome to Twitch, where you're a bitch if you just crawl out of bed. Put no effort into your stream, and your stream will wind up dead. Boop, boop. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Do something insane. I got big old man hands, don't I? All the better to strangle you with. Yep. They don't call me Supervillain Joe for nothing. That is what they actually call me. Don't get it twisted. I am a supervillain. You can't... Oh, and you can't even hear the audio. It's just me. Back to the game, bitch. Alright. What do we got? Let's see. What do we have here? No, I need it to react to every little thing. So I'm going to adjust the sensitivity on this guy. You know, we're still working out the kinks of this new technology that I have here. So just a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Wow. Okay. Oh, I was reducing. Okay, we're doing a little bit more, 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 less. Talking quietly. Okay, and we're going to be surrounding it in fabric, so I think that kind of dampens the mic a little bit too. At full sensitivity, any sound will trigger it, but I want it to be a little sensitive. You know, I got tastes. Okay. Talking quietly. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Just make sure. This is my real life hair. What do you think? This is actually a Rick and Morty wig that I've just completely demolished. Alright. His father went to Dracula's castle and never returned because he turned into Dracula, and his mother died protecting him from Dracula's wrath and fury unleashed upon the Brotherhood fortress that protected his village. Lost and alone, he was found by the mountain tribes of Wachia and raised as one of them. Having reached maturity, this fearsome barbarian, the son of Trevor Belmont, is finally ready to avenge his family and destroy the rule of the dragon forever. What will he do? Oh, did I just hit the wrong button? Nope. Bitch, we about to do this. Everybody chew piss. That doesn't make a single fucking lick of sense. Doesn't make a damn lick of sense. Why you gotta say that shit? Fucking weirdo. Licking piss. What are you talking about? You're not funny. Nobody likes you. You fight with idiots on Twitter. That's what you do, bruh. That's what you do, bruh. Bruh. Bruh, bruh. Ooh. Okay, what am I doing? R2 to use. Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Let's do it. Yeah, bitch. I got 5 on it. Wow, wow. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I do want to see it. I like Get Out. I got 5 on it. Wow, wow. Messing with the endo weed. I got 5 on it. Meow, meow. Very, very comfy Rick and Morty week. I got 5 on it. Meow, meow. Messing with the endo weed. 'Cause I got 5 on it. Ooh! Okay, we actually gonna play this bitch. Let's do this. I am the master. I'm the master and commander. Everybody, shut the fuck up. Alright, let's go. My wife is so supportive. You know, she saw this mask. I said, "Hey, look." She's like, "Oh, that looks nice." And you know, it clearly doesn't. You know, it clearly looks atrocious. But she's such a good sport. She's such a, you know, she's such a wonderful woman. I'm such a lucky man. All right. Supporting me looking like this. Kidding me? I'm a lucky man. Look at me. Look at this mess. Look at this dude. It was the elderly, then the men, women and children, until there was not a single person left standing. Not long after the tombstones began to move. Neither the hard oak wood nor the heavy stones of their graves could prevent the return of the dead to the world of the living. Collect Dead Knight scrolls and also increase your experience level. Bitch, don't tell me what to do. I will straight kill you. Throw you in the fucking dungeon, bitch. Oh. Oh, damn, dude. I don't give a fuck. You tame the throwing axe. Press 0 to throw it. 0. Press and hold O to charge, then release and throw for a more devastating attack. Ooh. Whoosh. Ooh, it bounces. Okay, yeah, but they're limited. Alright. Wah! I got 5 on it. Zeds. Yep. We've seen them before. It's the trope that never dies. I wonder if we'll have zombie, you know, enemies like zombie games in 100 years. I mean, will it ever go away? You know what I mean? This scenario. These barrels can be broken with our main weapon. Okay. Thank you. It's not like I wasn't going to try that or anything. That was certainly not the first thing I was going to do to those. I got 5 on it. Messing with that and all we. I got 5 on it. Yeah, I need to put some kind of covering right here. And then it's less, yeah, no, it works a lot better without, yeah, when there's something there and then people can kind of focus on it. The problem was I couldn't breathe and it was fogging up my glasses, go figure. Alright? Wasn't cool. Alright, hold on. Wood and flesh with ease. Armor, wood, and flesh with ease. The throwing axe is the perfect support weapon for a barbarian or Wachia. Extremely useful against flying creatures and devastating when charged. They are capable of breaking reinforced armor and can even knock down bigger foes. Lost and alone, he was found by the mountain tribes of Wachia and raised by them. Having reached maturity, this fearsome barbarian, the son of Trevor Belmont, is finally ready to avenge his family. Ooh. And destroy the rule of the dragon forever. Ooh, Daddy needs Juju. Just Gatorade, folks. Shut the fuck up. I'm not a drinker. A boo, boo. Boo, boo. Oh, I'm gonna read a scroll. As we crossed the bridge, the chain mechanism began to churn, quickly withdrawing the platform we were standing on. Luckily, I had the reflexes to jump back in time and watched as the rest of my company tumbled into the abyss. Oh, well, I guess you got to live a little longer. Whoa. Man, could we get a little darker, please? Did HD mean dark version? Shit is dark, man. Your objective is to look down with the X release. Look left. Yeah. Alright. Man, it's dark. It is like uber dark. Here, I'll turn it up for you. It's so damn dark, man. Wait a minute. Whoop. Yeah, let's do color correction. And gamma torch and brightness torch. There you go, dog. You see a lot better than I can. Oh, more new shit. What do you get on dodge? Yep, block. Okay, thank you. Yes, just make that thing go away, please. No, let go, let go, let go, bitch. Let go. Let go! Ah! Okay, cool. What the fuck? I'm scared of some zombies. Bitch, I invented zombies. Every one of these people I'm killing are probably a member of the Belmont family. Okay? That's how zombies work. Everyone's a Belmont. Literally everyone. Every protagonist and antagonist, besides the women, of course, appear to be Belmonts. Did it just say that this thing is for a different weapon? Yeah, it's too short. It can't reach. I realized too late that I needed to combat Cross to reach that platform. Now is my back broken from the fall. Oh man, I keep hitting the mic with my fucking haterade. From the fall, all I do is wait for death. My corpse will serve as a warning for others. Do not enter this evil place without the right equipment. All I can do is await death. Damn, dude. Are you not... You were literally... Your back broke from that? This guy, it's nothing. It was like those other guys were incredibly weak, going down with literally one hit. And here I was just smashing them. Yes, I am powerful. I'm pissed. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, there we go. Just wanted to fix the color just a little bit. Ah! Watch your oxygen bar while diving. Look for air pockets to replenish it. Oh, very nice. Your favorite game just got darker. Oh. Thank you, bitch. Alright, there we go. It looks a little bit better for me. Should look a lot better for you. Your favorite game just got darker. I'm Casey Kasem. Centuries ago, pilgrims created this underground route. Oh, Ape Powers. Is that Ape? No, it's a different guy named Ape Powerful Baby. Centuries ago, pilgrims created this. Power of healing. Tunnels they traveled through seeking health. Fortune. Oh, centuries ago, pilgrims created this underground route to worship the spirit of a woman who it was claimed had the power of healing. I wonder what that's about. More lore. Oh, hook it up. Oh, yeah. Nothing I love more than that Castlevania lore. Okay. Now that I've creeped you out, you can suck the sorry. You don't have a single viewer, so that's what you get for not streaming for like a week. I had to go to Vegas, y'all. Alright? Gamble all my money away. You know? Jesus take the wheel, that kind of stuff. Oh man, give me some fucking air. I was about to dizz out. Unlock zombie. Why did it unlock now? Have I killed a zombie recently? It's kind of weird. Alright. Yeah. Give me that. Yeah. Smack. Smack. Yeah, give me that. Okay, come on. Do 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 do. I like big butts and I cannot lie. Beep. You motherfuckers can't deny. Beep. When a girl walks in with an itty bitty waist and a walk from me, the face you get spooked. Take this! Oh, those guys look kind of like the classic enemies. You know, you'd go down in the basement after entering the castle. Ooh, maybe that's where we're entering from. I was wondering if it was this like the first game, since we are the first, you know, we are the original character from the NES game. I was wondering if that's what we were playing. I don't think that's the case though. I'm not sure. This seems to be the start of like a retelling, like a new continuity, like its own kind of, you know, thing happening. Okay. Oh wait, in air, hold L2 and L down. No shit. What's this? Give me this. Oh, bitch. Damn, dude. What's down here? Come on. Is it my death? Kinda looks like my death. Cool, you can do that though. Very forgiving with the, oh no, it isn't my death. Oh, bitch. I can't fucking whip? Come on, I can't whip and nay-nay this. It's such a relevant reference. It's the whip and nay-nays. It wasn't relevant 4 years ago, and now you're saying it because you're lame. What's every song rhyme? You fucking hack. Can't even write good songs on the fly while playing a video game. There's nothing down here, Dad. You just gotta climb out. But there's like, I thought there was like a secret or something. Nope, just straight punishment. You gotta deal with those dickheads. That's fine. They're easy. Whip them. I wish I could whip them. Oh man, they actually did fuck me up though. R2 to release, huh? Tell me what to do, bitch. Give me this. This better be health, man. Increase your maximum amount of life. Fuck yeah, boy. I'm a rude boy. Ugh. Knew there was shit up here. Yo, give me the secrets. I want the secrets of your love. Yeah, because the secret to Castlevania is love. Love, love, love. Oh, bitch. Whoa, whoa. Ba-do, do-do, do-do, do-do-do. Alright. Oh, fuck. What am I doing? I was looking at the damn screen for a millisecond. That's what I get. That's what I fucking get. Room to rent 50 cents. Go, go, gadget. Belmont. Oh, that was... What? I died because of the fucking fall, but I landed in water. What? What? That shit was outrageous. Call Jim and let her know that her throne has been taken. Because that was simply outrageous. I refuse to accept that kind of cheese bullshit. That was definitely the game's fault. Ugh. Yeah, these things look just like... Ooh. They look just... Ooh. They look just like the beasts from the lower area right at the start of Castlevania. Well, once you've gotten past... Ooh, fuck this mic. Once you've gotten past that... that's kind of the second part, I guess, after you've defeated the mini-boss, right? Oh, bitch. That's no good. Somebody get me a motherfucking cheese ball. I want a gallon of cheese balls. Put those cheese balls right in my mouth. Woo! 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 If you knew anything about me, you know that would be patent. You know that. Oh, wow. Yeah, dude. And, you know, I got a hankering to watch Ben Shapiro get completely fucking destroyed by a big BBC. So that's what we're going to watch right now. I can't wait to look at Ben Shapiro get raped by a BBC. All right, let's see here. Boom.
Was cracking down on religious liberty. A person.
Andrew Neil is a host on the BBC, and he talked to
he likes
Ben
that
Shapiro
BBC
about
baby
his new book, and things went haywire here. So the original interview is 16 minutes long. I don't have time to show you the whole thing here and now, but I'm going to show you as much of it as I possibly can. I think it's about 8 minutes or so, so about half the interview. It's the more interesting parts. Let's watch, then we'll come back and discuss.
I'm interested that you think
so
there's a
good.
thought movement inside the Republican Party. I mean, haven't the Conservatives run out of ideas in America? All the new policies, the Medicare for all, $15 minimum wage, the Green New Deal, they're all coming from the left, and they're popular.
Well, frankly, I'm confused by the idea that any of those are particularly new ideas. I mean, most of those ideas have been around since Franklin Delano Roosevelt at the very earliest, or at the very latest, rather. Some of them go all the way back to Woodrow Wilson. But the idea that new ideas are absent in the Republican Party is obviously untrue. We have a very strong debate that goes on inside sort of the conservative policy intelligentsia about what is the appropriate action to take with regard to the medical system.
Yeah, I'm trying to block. I'm trying to fucking figure that out.
A real threat, or should global warming be considered something that technology will solve? And if so, what are the best aspects of solving that? Now, there's a rich intellectual debate on the right.
Shut the fuck up, Ben Shapiro. God, you're a joke.
Versus free marketeerism. That debate is happening on the right to sort of suggest that the right in America is bereft of ideas, but the left is full of ideas. Number one, not all ideas are good ideas. I mean, AOC is pretty good evidence of that. I'm a big fan of some old ideas.
Huge disagree, you little goblin.
But beyond that, I think that it is intellectual sneering of the highest order to suggest that only the left has new and decent ideas.
Some of the ideas that are popular in your side of politics would seem to take us back to the Dark Ages, Georgia, new abortion laws, which you are much in favor of, that a woman who miscarries could get 30 years.
Yeah,
a
that
Georgian
shit's
woman
insane.
who travels to another state for an abortion procedure could get 10 years. These are extreme hard policies.
Oh, I
Well,
almost
okay, a couple of
killed
things.
myself.
One, I'm not sure. I mean, frankly, I don't know whether are you an objective journalist or are you an opinion journalist?
I'm a
Just so I know.
journalist that asks questions.
Okay, so you're a supposedly objective journalist.
Immediately
who
starts
disagree
attacking
and
him.
suggesting only one side of the political aisle has ideas. So I just want to point out that I wish you would at least be honest in your own bias.
Mr. Shapiro,
are you a member of the
broadcasting in America is now so polarized that on one program you only have the left and another one you just have the right. My job is to question those who have strong views and put an alternative to them. If you were an anti-abortion person, I would be putting pro-abortion questions to you. You are
really? Would you call the pro-choice position?
So why don't you just answer my question? question.
Sir, I'm happy to answer your question. Please answer this one. Would you suggest that a late-term abortion is brutal?
I'm not taking a
Is it
view
a
on
brutal
this issue.
policy to
I'm
allow
asking
late-term
you the
abortion?
questions.
Sir, you just suggested the pro-life position is inherently brutal and terrible, so I'm asking you, as an objective journalist, would you ask the same question to a pro-choice advocate by calling their position brutal and
What I'm
horrible?
asking you is that why is it that a bill banning abortions after a woman has been pregnant for 6 weeks is not a return to the Dark Ages? What's your answer?
My answer is something called science. Human life exists at conception. It ought to be protected. Now, back to my question to you. You purport to be an objective journalist. BBC purports to be an objective down-the-middle network. It obviously is not. It never has been. And you, as a journalist, are proceeding to call one side of the political aisle ignorant, barbaric, and sending us back to the Dark Ages. Why don't you just say that you're on the left? Is this so hard for you? Why can't you just be honest?
Mr.
Seriously,
Shapiro,
it's a serious question.
Mr. Shapiro, if you only knew how ridiculous that statement is, you wouldn't have said it. Again, it was your description of the State of the Union address in 2012 as fascist.
The wording of President Trump's 2012 address was bad and wrong.
That's all. There are plenty of things that are bad and wrong, but it doesn't make them fascist.
Well, I suppose that's true. But if you would like to, again, if you'd like to read me the column out loud, I suppose I can critique it for you.
Oh, well, again with Mr. Obama, you said, and you're Jewish yourself. I only mention that because to put this in context. The Jews who vote for Obama are, by and large, Jews in name only. Ginos, you call them.
My statement was based on the fact that Jews in the United States, as an ethnic group, are largely irreligious, which is true by every single poll. Jews are the most irreligious group in the United States. As an Orthodox Jew who actually takes Judaism seriously, the point that I am making is that most Jews who are ethnically Jewish are not religiously Jewish in any context.
No. The point you were making is that Jews who vote for Obama are Jews in name only.
I said that, yes,
No.
that is correct. That Jews
Why
who
do I
voted
do
for
this?
Barack Obama,
Damn
the
it.
progenitor of the Iran deal, a person who was cracking down on religious liberty, a person who spent much of his
So
career
wrong.
as
He didn't
president
do
of the
any of
United
that.
States attempting to deprive Israel of the necessities to defend itself. That people, Jews who voted for President
Unbelievable.
Obama, by and large, cared about Judaism far less than they did about other priorities.
Did you say they should
Correct.
turn their badge in as a Jew?
Yes, I believe that if you are somebody who takes Judaism seriously, that comes along with ideological commitment.
I mean, I guess.
Also, I hope you're having fun, by the way, going through every old tweet that I've ever sent to try and do gotcha questions. But if you'd like to have a discussion about my general philosophy or things I've done,
not
in,
a
say,
gotcha
I don't
question.
know,
You said
it's
these
2012, so
things.
it's now 2019. If you'd like to discuss something I've done in, say, like the past 5 years, why don't we do that? How about
Well,
that?
because your book is a criticism of how angry America is and how America has to do better. And I'm simply
I have an
trying to
entire
point
list
out,
on my website, sir.
And
On my list, I have an entire website of dumb,
I'm
bad
simply
things
trying
that
to
I've
point
said.
out some of the things you've said that seem to me to help to stoke that anger. For example, you said Israelis like to build, Arabs like to bomb crap and live in open sewage.
Well, as I say in an article entitled, "Here's a list of all the giant
Fucking
bad
little
dumb things I've ever
racist.
said."
Was that
list
dumb?
includes, Well, yes, that's a dumb tweet, and not only, but it is also important to mention that the next few tweets clarify that tweet is specifically referring to the Hamas leadership, which, by the way, a BBC I've seen is relatively reticent to condemn.
No, actually, it wasn't what you went on to do and say. You are correct about the slur on Arabs. It's not all Arabs that want to live in open sewage and blow things up. It's just Palestinians. You went on to say.
No, it says the ones who take sides
and then you
against
said
Israel in the Israel-Palestinian
Arab
conflict.
population is rotten to the core. You went on to say, not Hamas. The Palestinian Arab population.
Yeah, you were very
Numbers, they
specific
elected
about
Hamas.
that.
They elected Hamas. They educate their children in school that Israel should be obliterated, sir.
I guess
if you want to read, honestly, this is a giant waste of time. In the sense that the entire interview is designed for you to shout slogans or old things that I've said at me. I don't see how this forwards the debate. You talk about undermining the public discourse. It seems to me that simply going through and finding lone things that sound bad out of context and then hitting people with them.
They do
is a way
sound
for
bad,
you
don't they,
to make
Ben?
a quick buck on BBC off the fact that I'm popular and no one has ever heard of you.
There are not many bucks to be made on the BBC, unlike American broadcasting, Mr. Shapiro. The point
You're
I'm
getting
trying
paid,
to
it
make
seems.
is that your words are hardly designed to produce the consensus and understanding that the book seems to want to produce. That's my point, that you write about, Judeo-Christian culture and so on, But so much of what you've said in the past would seem to turn its back on Judeo-Christian culture.
Yeah, bitch.
You're lecturing me on Judeo-Christian culture after you call the pro-life position barbaric?
I just asked you a question.
And I asked you a question. You failed to answer a single one of mine. Frankly, I find this whole thing a waste of time. If you want to read the book and critique the book, why don't you read and critique the book? If you want to critique me, you can think whatever you want of me. Frankly, I don't care. I don't frankly give a damn what you think of me.
I asked you a question.
I've never heard of you until I briefed myself for this. But that's not the issue. You have a
Then
new
why the hell
book
are you
out,
interviewing
and
me,
it's an interesting book. But my point is, your book claims that
Well, it'd be nice
society...
if you would quote it from time to time.
Your book is... Well, actually, I've done so several times, and I'm about to do so again, if you would let me just finish the question. Your book
frankly, I don't
claims
think
that
this, you know what?
society
Honestly,
is turning its back
sir,
on Judeo-Christian values.
Yeah, this is,
what are those values? What are the values it's turning its back on?
I'm not inclined to continue an interview with a person as badly motivated as you as an interviewer. So I think we're done here. I appreciate your time, sir.
All
Thank
right.
you so
Well,
much.
thank you for your time and for showing that anger is not part of American political discourse. Now, Mr. Shapiro, we'll say goodbye.
You got completely smoked. Woo!
Hot diggity damn, son.
Oh, boy. Got his
my
nose
goodness.
rubbed in it.
Oh, there's so much to say about this. Ben Shapiro and many others on the right, they say over and over, like, me, bro, I'm just all about this battle of ideas.
Yeah.
And I just want to have the discussion with people. You know? Let's duke it out in the battle of ideas, and may the best ideas win.
Yeah, they always say that
here's a perfect
bullshit.
example of having an opportunity to have your battle of ideas. And then you run away from it. And you look for a safe space because you're a snowflake. And you can't actually defend your ideas when you get solid pushback on them. Listen, if you watched that interview and you thought that there were gotcha questions in there, you got to take the partisan blinders off, man. Because Ben Shapiro is literally being given a giant platform to respond.
Yeah.
Everything Andrew Neil is putting to him, he can respond to.
Yeah, he's asking a very
you have the
succinct
floor.
question.
Go.
Okay, and what's your
you
response?
can say whatever you want to say to fight back against what you think are points that you don't like that he's making. That is the battle of ideas. That's exactly what the battle of ideas is. That's exactly what it's supposed to be. He's asking standard adversarial questions because that's how it works in the rest of the world.
Yes.
Only in the U.S. do they coddle your fucking ball sack and
They
act like you're
do.
special.
Yeah.
Okay? In the rest of the world, there's a tradition in UK media of, I'm going to ask you tough questions because I'm in the fucking media. And what's the point? What's the point of me
What's
talking
the
to you
point
and
of
holding your
doing it?
hands
Exactly,
and
if we're
frolicking
not
in the
asking
meadow and
controversial
singing
questions.
Kumbaya to you? No, I'm going to ask you tough questions. Guess what you're supposed to do when you're a fucking journalist, when you're a reporter. Now, the even more important point is, Andrew Neil is a massive right-wing guy.
He is.
So Ben Shapiro calls him a leftist. Andrew Neil, the best line in the whole thing is, Mr. Shapiro, if you only knew how ridiculous that comment was, you wouldn't have said it.
Exactly.
Andrew Neil pushed for the wars in both Iraq and Afghanistan. He argued that climate change isn't real. He's a massive right-wing guy. But because he asked adversarial questions, Ben Shapiro turned into a snowflake and melted live on air.
Yeah.
And it was triggered and ran out looking for his safe space.
Yeah.
So, the same thing that Ben Shapiro accuses the left of being, he actually embodies it. And you know who did a great segment on this? TJ Kirk, the amazing atheist. He broke down, this is from a while ago, he broke down a Shapiro speech, and Shapiro was giving his, tips on how to, destroy leftists in debate. But everything that he was giving was, snide debate tricks.
Yeah.
To, weasel your way through a debate and not give direct answers, not be honest and upfront and straightforward and actually confront ideas head on. It was all hey, here's a way you can get away with not actually giving any answer to it and projecting and personally attacking your opponent.
Mhm.
So the same shit he accuses the left of doing, that's what he does, and he just did it right here, and it was fucking embarrassing to watch, man. That was really hard to watch.
It was.
So,
He
notice
was
how
way
he
off.
said it at least twice. He alluded to the fact that, I'm popular, nobody even knows who you are.
Yeah.
Who cares? How the fuck is that even relevant? How is that relevant? Again, that's something where if a lefty did it to a right-wing guy,
Whoa.
he would have a meltdown and say, see, shows how bankrupt their ideas are. They can't even engage on the idea. They have to resort to personal attacks.
Yeah.
That's a personal attack. You know, I'm popular. Nobody knows who you are. And by the way, that's not even true. In the UK, Andrew Neil is very well known.
Yeah, he is.
But, oh, God, he's so smug. So smug and so disingenuous. And he
Yeah.
just obfuscates throughout the entire interview.
Yep. Refuses to answer any questions.
Now, let's go through some of the more specific points here. At the beginning, they talk about how Ben Shapiro's arguing there's a giant thought movement on the right, and on the left, there's nothing. And what Andrew Neil does is he says, well, listen, here are the detailed policy discussions that they're having on the left. Agree with it or disagree with it, you can't say they're not having the discussion, because we are on the left having this discussion. And he accurately brings up Green New Deal, $15 minimum wage, Medicare for all. Like, again, agree or disagree with those policies, that's irrelevant. We are having this important discussion on the left, and it is policy focused.
That's right.
And Shapiro smugly acts like, other side bad, my side good. We're talking about the real ideas on my side. Now, in reality, what ideas are they talking about on the right? Deregulation, tax cuts for the rich.
Yep.
This is the standard go-to, you know, anti-immigrant rhetoric. And what are the things that Shapiro brings up to say the right is having all the ideas and having all the substantive discussions? He said, what action we should take with our medical system. What? That's a discussion that's being had on the right? No, your answer is less government always and more free market. That's always your answer. That's it. That's your whole answer. Trump Care, did you know that Trump Care, that was the Republican Obamacare replacement bill, it was polling at 12%?
Oh, what the hell?
Because the whole idea is, hey, let's gut all the regulations on the for-profit health insurance companies, and let's let them do whatever the fuck they want. Yeah, we know that's your idea. That's your idea on every issue. Leave it to the, the free market, and let them get away with whatever the fuck they want to get away with, and let's do less regulation.
Yeah, she blocks that shit for you.
That's your whole approach. So when you say we're having a debate as to what action to take with the medical system, there's no debate. On the left, there's a debate. There's a debate between, public option. There's a debate between expanding Medicare, lowering the age to 55, expanding Medicaid, doing Medicare for all, doing Medicare for all, where it's a single-payer system where it's public dollars, so tax money funding public institutions, or it's public money funding private institutions. So there is a vibrant debate on the left. On the right, the answer is the same, and it's always been the same. And every bill has shown this. Now, back in the 90s, there was debate on the right on the issue of healthcare, and the right-wing position was Obamacare, an individual mandate system, where you mandate people by law go buy
Why did I throw that
health
jewel
insurance.
away?
But now you've abandoned that position because Obama took the position, so now you pretend like it's socialist or Marxist or whatever bullshit, and you say, no, the answer is just get rid of the lines around the states and fucking free market. That's always the answer, even though it's not even an answer, and we had that system beforehand, and it objectively had the worst possible health outcomes and the most expensive prices. So you're not saying anything. What debate are we having on the right? The battle of ideas? What to do with our medical system? Notice he didn't even say any policy. He didn't say any policies. He just said what to do with our medical system? That's not an answer. Then he says, and we're debating climate change?
Yeah, you're debating against it.
Whether or not it's a real problem and whether or not technology will save us. I got news for you, Ben. That conversation does not make you guys look intelligent.
No.
Quite the opposite. When you have, a meta-analysis done that shows 99.9% of all the studies on the issue of climate change say it's real and it's largely man-made, and you guys are still debating whether or not it's happening, that doesn't make you look good. That makes you look really, really, really shitty. Oof. And then the only thing he said where there's actually a discussion about this on the right is populism versus free markets. So basically populism versus outsourcing, or protectionism versus outsourcing to be more specific. But really that discussion is only being had along the margins. But that is a discussion that's at least happening. Ben Shapiro and Tucker Carlson had that conversation, basically free market versus protectionism or populism. And that's the one area where he made sense. But outside of that, in every other area, the vibrant policy debate and the battle of ideas is
Oh,
happening on the
damn it.
left.
Fuck you.
Then, this part says a lot to me about Ben Shapiro because he's posed a question about locking up women for abortion, and which, by the way, is a new level of extremism that we haven't seen before. The pro-life movement in the past, they always drew a line and said, no, we're not talking about locking up a woman ever for this. So they were against abortion, but they would never take that step where they want to punish, a mother as if it's murder or something. Well, that's what these new bills popping up around the country are doing.
Yeah, they're fucking
And so
frightening.
Andrew Neil, again, not letting his own personal opinion get in the way at all, saying it doesn't matter what my views are, I'm playing the role of reporter or journalist, so I'm going to be adversarial. He says, well, listen,
How do I get up there?
that is extreme and that is barbaric. You're going to lock a woman up for 30 years if she has an abortion after 6 weeks? By the way, you know when viability is and when the nervous system is developed in the fetus? About 20 weeks, 20 to 23 weeks.
Jesus.
6 weeks is super early. Super early. You know, lock them up, they have an abortion in 7 weeks? That's crazy. That is barbaric. That is rolling back the clock, generations, if that. I don't even know if they'd lock people up back in the day for that. So he poses that, and what does Shapiro do? He immediately deflects. Now, somebody who's intellectually honest would do what? He would answer the question. He would say,
how do I get in here, bitch?
Listen, I'm anti-abortion, but here's why I disagree with that particular policy.
Flip a gear.
There's an intellectual tradition of being anti-abortion, but not punishing the mother in such draconian ways. He could have said that, or he could have even defended the policy if he wanted to. Hey, I think it's murder, so since it's murder, yes, that's how you treat murderers. He could have answered the question, but he chose not to answer the question. He chose to deflect. He deflected, accused Andrew Neil of being a leftist and supporting abortion, even though who knows what Andrew Neil's position on abortion is. And his other positions are right-wing, so if anything, I'm inclined to believe maybe his position is right-wing, though I don't know. And then his only answer, when he actually got around to finally answering a little bit, even if you could call it that, was an aside where he said, my answer is something called science. Oh, come on, man. If you're somebody who's a Ben Shapiro fan, you don't see how flippant and glib that is? You don't see how smug that is? You don't see how he's doing everything he can to not answer the question simply because he views it as a hostile question? Son, why not be intellectually honest and upfront? There's nothing, you can just be intellectually honest and upfront. Instead, you're doing everything but that. Listen, it's like, I brought this up before, but you know what this reminded me of? Because Andrew Neil asks a lot of incisive, hard-hitting questions. When I was on Fox News, I think it was the second time, the host actually hit me with a great question at one point. Because I was citing, earlier in the interview, I was citing polls and saying, hey, listen, Americans are with the so-called far left when it comes to Medicare for all, when it comes to free college, when it comes to a living wage. And I went down the